person's estate at the date they died. If you're paying those estate duties more than a year after the person died, you pay 6% interest on that 1.5%. And again, that 6% is not to be confused with the executor's commission that I mentioned previously of 6%. Two completely different figures. So this takes me back to my earlier point. If someone asks, how soon does an executor have to act after the person dies? Again, as soon as possible, because we have all these fees to face, estate duties, interest on the estate duties, executor's commission, legal fees. All of that will add up, especially if it's a valuable estate. Legal fees are going to be based on a percentage of the current value of the estate. So, again, act as soon as possible. Can a licensee on a property for over 40 years claim adverse possession can a licensee claim adverse possession if they've been on a property for over 40 years and the licensors have the title? Would children be considered a licensee? All right, for those listeners who may not know, in different terms, a licensee is essentially a person who is on land with the owner's permission. So let us say you have a piece of land and someone has a stall on it, and they're not living there, they don't have a building there, they're just using a little section of it to sell their wares. That's a typical licensee situation. So to answer your question, can the licensee claim adverse possession if they've been there for 40 years? If they are there with the person or with the owner's permission and their continued permission for all the 40 years, then they cannot claim adverse possession. Because remember, the basis of an adverse possession application is that you are on the property without permission, you are occupying it adverse to the paper owner's interest. So if you're there with permission, you cannot. If it's a case, however, where they started out, let's say they had a little hand cart business there, and they're there, they started out with permission, there for 10 years with permission, owner disappeared, no money paid to them, no more permission given, and they've now been occupying it for 30 years without permission, then in such a case, they can apply for adverse possession as long as they can show that they no longer had permission. Children would not be considered licensees. I mean, they would be there with the owners or the parents' permission. But there are cases, in fact, a lot of contentious cases where children have succeeded in applying for adverse possession. Typical scenario is where we have this family house. Everybody in Jamaica knows what I mean by family house. So what usually happens, you'll have one sibling who is in Jamaica, all the others are overseas. The others, sometimes they may come every couple of years for holiday, they may stay at the house for a week or so, or they don't come at all. But in their minds, for the children overseas, they consider it the family house. For the child living in Jamaica, they consider it their house because to their mind, they're saying, well, I'm living here by myself or with my immediate family for the past 30 years. I'm the only one who has repaired the house, built the house, paying all the bills, paying all the taxes. And some of them, when they're in that situation, they apply for a title and they get it. And it's usually once they get the title that the other children find out, and then there is contention. So don't think that because you call something owner and you have no idea about. Over to Facebook, and again, our Facebook page is facebook.com/landsolutions. Based on what you said before about tenants, how can you guarantee finding a good tenant? The first thing I will tell you is that there's no guarantee in life. There really is no way to find a perfect tenant. You can do your due diligence though. And as I said before, get your references, find out where they lived previously, where they work. A lot of landlords, they use a realtor to find a tenant for them, and the realtors do background checks on the tenants too, so that helps. But sometimes really just the luck of the draw. Because a lot of landlords will tell you, listen, I had this tenant for 3, 4, 5 years. They were perfect. They either paid the rent on time or early, model tenants. And then all of a sudden, things just change. So there really is no guarantee. You just have to do your due diligence and hope for the best. I have a house in Jamaica in just my name. I live in the US with my husband in a house we own together. If we get a divorce, is he entitled to 50% of the Jamaican house? No, but, and I'll get to the but shortly. So I suspect what you're referring to is the Property Rights of Spouses Act. And the Property Rights of Spouses Act says that once a house is your matrimonial house, each spouse is entitled to 50%. But what the matrimonial, I'm sorry, it really should be called the Matrimonial Act, but what the Property Rights of Spouses Act also says is that it is the party's dwelling house, and only one dwelling house can be considered the matrimonial home or the family home. So you say that you and your husband live in the US together. The fact that you live in the US means that your house in Jamaica could not qualify as the matrimonial house, because, and I know a lot of you are going to argue with me on that, but really you cannot live in Jamaica and the US. Some of you are going to say, well, I'm here 6 months out of the year. No, you can only have one, for the purposes of the act, only one dwelling house. If you live in the US, that is your dwelling house there in the US. The house in Jamaica, if it's in your name, he's not entitled to a 50% share under the Property Rights of Spouses Act. However, if you die without a will, because he is the surviving spouse, that's another law, the law of intestacy, he may be entitled to 50%. So, no, he may not be entitled to 50% under the Property Rights of Spouses Act, but if you die without a will, he can get 50% by virtue of being the administrator of your estate. So if you don't have a will, make sure you do a will. If you don't want him to benefit from this house in Jamaica, you can also go ahead right now and add someone else's name to the title in Jamaica. And you mentioned the house in Jamaica, you only need one will. You don't need 2 wills, only 1 will at a time can be valid. So make your will. If you want to make it in the US, fine. Make sure when you make it, it references all your properties, whether in Jamaica or the US. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
For haulage, welding, moving, dredging, pile driving, cranes for lifting up to 450 tons, and skilled workmen, call Mobile Welding and Engineering Works, 29 Marion Road, Montego Bay, and 85 Old Hope Road, Kingston 6. Mobile Welding and Engineering Works, the strongest name in steel.
The Cattle Breeders Society of Jamaica presents its Minute Livestock Show and Beef Festival at Minute Estate, Brownstown, St. Anne, Thursday, November 10, under the theme Smart Livestock Production, Safer, Cleaner, Better. Sponsored by Nutrimix, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Jamaica 4-H Clubs, Hydro Fees, the Jamaica Dairy Development Board, Miranda Bauxite Limited, Hot NSPA Trust, and H&L Agro.
It's the final segment of Land Solutions for today. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-4113-5. Is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, 876 876-881-5254. 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They encourage you to call ahead instead of just turning up. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. They have an office in Ocho Rios, St. Anne as well. That's Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. In fact, if you wish, you can dial that number directly, leading you to the Ocho Rios offices of attorneys at law Brown, Findley and Company. That number is 876-974-6083, 876-974-6083. And a reminder that a lawyer is on duty at the Ocho Rios offices of Brown, Findley and Company every Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. Here once again is attorney at law, Calicia Findley.
Thank you, everyone. Continue with our WhatsApp messages. Good evening, Ms. Findley. I have been getting a summons from 2016 from a law firm, I won't say where, for recovered possession of property that I am at. It was willed to me and a cousin of my uncle's wife. My uncle is the complainant. No one is coming to court. The executor says he knows nothing about it. I've been living at the house with them before they passed away. It's been 12 years now. I have a title. What do I do? You say from 2016. I'm not sure what you would have done from 2016 to now, but if you haven't already, you need to retain an attorney as soon as possible to go to court for you. You say that no one has been turning up in court. It seems like you have been turning up, but the other side hasn't been turning up. If that's the case, you need to have an attorney go to court to file documents. They will know what to file to have the matter be thrown out, because if this has been going on from 2016 and we're now in 2022 and nothing is happening, then it seems like your time is being wasted. But get an attorney as soon as possible, because you don't want to be in a situation where the court makes an order. Ensure you do that as soon as possible. This is a two-part message. What's the best way to do a will without letting anyone know about it? And do you have to notify someone you're choosing them as your executor before doing your will? All right, what's the best way to do a will without letting anyone know about it? You could have an attorney do the will for you. Go into an attorney's office, they will prepare the will, and you can sign the will in the attorney's office. It is, however, advisable that someone knows that you make a will. You don't have to tell them what's in the will, but you should at least say, I've made a will. It's in the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company if anything happens to me. So I can understand not wanting to keep the will at home, not wanting your relatives to know about your will, but it's best that someone knows, because you don't want, God forbid, that you pass away, no one knows that you've made a will, and then your beneficiaries, your family members, operate under the assumption that there never was a will. So they may apply for administration in your estate when they really should apply for probate. So let us say we have a call.
Yes, Calicia.
Thanks, Derva. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam.
Hello.
I'm hoping you'll be able to help us. We bought some lands from the government from 1988.
Yeah.
This is in Westmoreland. And until now, we are unable to get our titles. What the National Land Agency is saying is that the lands that were surveyed, but the surveyor did not make any notes. So the land will have to be surveyed again. But this is from 1988, madam.
Oh no. Is it a land settlement?
The Commissioner of Lands.
Is it a land settlement?
Pardon?
It's a land settlement?
Yes, madam.
I'm sorry, did you say yes?
I can hardly hear you though.
I'm having a challenge hearing you. I'm asking you if it is a land settlement.
Yes, madam, it is. It's about 148 lots.
Yeah, there's not. I'm so sorry, but there's nothing we can do to help you. That's just a problem with land settlement. And I'll tell you this: as bad as it may seem, you have persons who have bought land settlements from in the 70s and long before you, and still haven't got titles. So there's nothing we can do. That's just entirely up to the government.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All the best.
Bye.
Continuing with that message, what's the best way to do a will without letting anyone know about it? As I said, you can do it in an attorney's office. The attorney can witness the will for you along with someone on their staff, but it is advisable that someone knows that you have made a will, because you don't want your family members to apply for administration when they really should be applying for probate. Let us say in your will, you left your property to a beloved friend. However, you are married but estranged from your husband. You hate that husband. You don't want that person to get anything, or vice versa. But on the administration, it's the husband who is entitled to administer your estate. So again, always good to let someone know that you have made a will. And the second part of the question, do you have to notify someone you're choosing them as your executor before doing your will? No, you do not have to, but again, it is best to do so. A lot of persons, when they find out they're executors, it's long after the person has died and they're taken by surprise. A lot of them may be a little upset that, well, why didn't this person tell me? It is a big responsibility. And I've seen cases where because they didn't know, they're just not interested. They don't care. They don't want to do anything. So they either give up the executorship or they just drag their feet for many, many, many years. So while the law doesn't say that you must notify an executor, I think it is the responsible and the better thing to do by at least discussing it with the person first to make sure not only that they're willing, but to also make sure that they're capable, because it is a big undertaking. Can you sell a house with tenants in it? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There's no law stopping that. I think maybe the bigger question is whether you can find a purchaser who's willing to take the tenants. A lot of purchasers are not, especially when people are buying the property to live in it. They want it vacant. However, if someone is buying it for investment purposes, and if the tenant is a good tenant, quote unquote good tenant, because you never can tell what may happen, then I find those purchasers have no problem taking the property with the tenants in it. Just so you know, when you're selling property, you cannot give a tenant notice on the basis that you're selling the property. The Rent Restriction Act doesn't provide for that. So those of you who are buying property with the tenants there, ensure you do your due diligence. Find out how long the tenant has been there. Find out their payment history. Get a copy of their lease agreement. Ensure you get the security deposit transferred to you. Find out all of those things. You could even go as far as, it may not be necessary, but you may even go as far as doing what we call an assignment of lease, where the lease is formally assigned to you. Not necessary, but it can be done. But yes, you can put a tenant in it. I am in the process of applying for a title, which should take about 6 months or so. Should I include that land in my will now or wait until I have my title? By all means, go ahead, do your will now and include that property in your will. You don't have to wait until you get your title. Because you don't, God forbid, you don't want to pass away now, you don't get a chance to include that property in your title. So remember, even though you don't have the formal registered title in your hand, you are still claiming ownership to it. So you can say, you can refer to the property as my property on X Avenue, in this parish, in this district. So you may not have the volume and folio numbers, but at least you will have a reference for the property. You could even use what we call the examination numbers on the survey diagram to refer to the property. You having a legal title, or what we call a registered title, or you not having a registered title, I should say, doesn't change the fact that you don't own the property and that you can't mention it in your will. So go ahead right now, please, and mention it in your will. Let me see if I can get in a couple more messages. Suppose after a will is probated, the executor finds a later one. What should he do? He would need to apply to the court to cancel that probate on the basis that a new will has been found. The challenge, though, is if it all depends on what stage the executor finds the quote-unquote new will. So let's say the executor finds this will after the property has been sold, everything has been dispersed. And let's say the new will is something completely different from what the old will would have said. He would need to go to court as soon as possible to apply for instructions, because that can spell trouble. So again, that takes back to my earlier point. If you have a will, if you have a new will, make sure someone knows about it. If you have an old will and a new will, destroy the old will. Tear it up, throw it away. The new will automatically cancels the old will, but you don't want to have any confusion, so destroy the old will. Thanks as always for tuning into Land Solutions. I've been your host for today, Calicia Finley, and thanks as always to the team at Power 106, Durban and Adrian. Take care, everyone, and have a good rest of the evening.
Protecting Jamaica's borders from illicit imports and exports is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30. The easiest and most convenient way to pay bills using Paymaster or try your luck at betting and gaming under one roof is at Medifair Pharmacy. We supply equipment to hotels and attractions. These equipment are used to facilitate training for staff members. Medifair Pharmacy, 24 Market Street, Montego Bay, or visit Medifair RX at cwjamaica.com. Medifair Pharmacy, your regular pharmacy.
Sipa Copper.
Sipa Copper?
Yes, Sipa Copper.
Sipa Copper what?
Sipa Copper Ital Jamaican Moringa tea bags.
Sipa Copper Moringa, turmeric, vervine, neem, and guinea hen wheat tea bags today. Sipa Copper tea is available in supermarkets island-wide. So Sipa Copper today, you'll be happy you did.
Distributed by Caramed Group Limited.
Tune in every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. for Your Legal Corner with Dana Walker Huntington, during both sides of the story with Durban Malcolm on Power 106 FM. It's your source of information regarding U.S. immigration matters, combined with Power 106 FM's pioneer of diaspora broadcasting. Call in with your U.S. immigration queries and concerns on 876-9224-11225 or send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598 and get the answers you need for your U.S. immigration questions. That's Your Legal Corner with Dana Walker Huntington, Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with Durban Malcolm, only on Power 106 FM.
Like a soft wind sighing, I can hear you, my darling. I can hear Jamaica calling, calling to me. O'er the sea, across the ocean, oh bright summits of emotion. I can hear Jamaica calling, calling to me. There's a song.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. What's on your mind this afternoon? Please feel free to share. What are people talking about in your neck of the woods, in your household, in your community, in your school, in your office, on the buses, wherever? What's the subject of discussion? What's the big topic of discussion? Feel free to share. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And if you have particular comments to make with respect to matters in the news, feel free. We'll be happy to accommodate you. Good afternoon to our friends from the AFJ, the American Friends of Jamaica. They are preparing Jamaicans for what is to come in terms of their grant awards. They have raised funds, and it's time for the 2023 grant cycle. The 2023 grant cycle is open. Discretionary grant cycle open now. And this is especially if you are involved in charities having to do with education, healthcare, and human and economic development. You have an opportunity to apply for a grant, and the word grant there means you don't have to repay it. It's not a loan, it's a grant. And depending on how well you present your proposal to the American Friends of Jamaica, AFJ, and by the way, this organization is primarily comprised of former U.S. ambassadors to Jamaica. Former U.S. ambassadors to Jamaica make up the American Friends of Jamaica. And in fact, the application, you can go to theafj.org, theafj.org. You can visit the website, and the grant application form is on the website. The application deadline is Friday, the 3rd of February, 2023. Notifications will be sent during the 3rd week of March. Grant awards will be presented in April 2023. And we encourage as many NGOs and charitable organizations as possible in Jamaica to go to theafj.org and make sure you have a seat at that table in terms of the grants, the disbursement of grants to come. But make sure you follow all the requirements. Just go to the website, theafj.org, and take advantage of this grant cycle. Let's just give you a quick rundown of what's been happening. So it's documented by Jamaica Gleaner. In Guyana, stages walkout of National Assembly. Opposition in Guyana stages walkout of National Assembly. Opposition legislators on Monday walked out of the National Assembly after the Speaker, Manzoor Nadir, shot down an attempt by opposition leader Aubrey Norton to seek parliamentary approval for a motion allowing for constitutional and legal amendments to ensure a clean voters list. Following the ruling, the opposition members of the coalition, a Partnership for National Unity Alliance for Change, APNUF-AFC, walked out of the building, not staying for the debate on several pieces of legislation. You can understand this was bound to happen. Guyana is richer than before, materially speaking, in terms of natural resources, oil being a major one. And so who wouldn't want to be in power in a country in the early days of a country having discovered oil in their backyard? Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to be the leader of the country at that time? Everybody wants to be leader whenever good things are happening. Everybody wants to claim the good things that happen. Very few, if anybody out there, would gladly step up and claim the bad things, or claiming having a hand in the bad things that are happening. So that's the idea. That's the idea. Sean, if you're listening, if you want to communicate with us, you have to ensure that your background is in order, so that we don't come to you and we hear disorder. But this is an election situation here in terms of Guyana. The opposition leader Aubrey Norton having Manzoor Nadir shooting down his attempt to seek parliamentary approval for a motion allowing for constitutional and legal amendments to ensure a clean voters list. All right, there was a time when we had that issue. There was a time when we had that issue. But there was a genuine move on the part of the two major political parties in Jamaica and other key stakeholders to ensure that we have a system that can be trusted and recognized globally as a system of integrity. We trust our brothers and sisters in Guyana. We'll look at some of the best practices here in Jamaica and work from there, because we have been there. We have been there. Also in the news, Bahamas prepares to evacuate residents, more like evacuate communities. That's the original meaning of evacuation. Bahamas prepares to evacuate communities as Tropical Storm Nicole approaches. A hurricane watch has gone into effect for northwestern Bahamas as Subtropical Storm Nicole was moving towards the CARICOM country today with no change in strength. In a statement, Acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper said, "Please do not take this storm lightly. Nicole poses an imminent threat to the islands under warning. Everyone must prepare for the worst." The National Emergency Management Agency Director, Captain Stephen Russell, who's urging residents in vulnerable areas to leave their homes when called to do so, said an evacuation order would be would likely be issued for parts of Abaco and Grand Bahama later today. The islands in the northwest Bahamas include Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini, the Berry Islands, Eleuthera, New Providence, and Andros have all been placed under a hurricane watch. So spare a thought for our brothers and sisters in the Bahamas as they continue their preparations. We wish them well and trust that they will successfully ride out this latest storm. And we've had a few already in the region, so we cannot drop our guard. Keep that guard up. Also, this unbelievable story of 35 people being killed last week alone, pushing up the murder tally to 1,329. This is crazy. 35 people were killed in Jamaica last week in one of the bloodiest 7-day periods since the start of the year. This brings the national murder tally to 1,329 as at November 5, 2022. It represents an 8% year-on-year increase in homicides, 98 more than the 1,231 recorded for the corresponding period in 2021. What is wrong with us? Really and truly, we can't continue like this. This is madness. This is madness. Oh dear. Let us continue to be conscious of our environment and all that's happening around us so that we can keep our heads while others are losing theirs. Norman Hines says, good afternoon, Sir Durban and listeners. Good afternoon, Norman Hines. And we can't help but think about the family members, friends, and colleagues who have lost loved ones. We convey sincerest condolences. Wayne Golding, Senior, CD, JD, says, good day from Southern California, Sir Durban. Congratulations on your Community Service Award from JAAC. We'll deliver to you in short order. We missed you. Sorry about that. Had to be in other places. And terribly sorry. Would have loved to have been in California. We haven't been to California in a little while. But thank you very much to the Jamaica Awareness Association of California for this award.
5. The Issa Manning Cup Schoolboy Football Competition is in full swing, and Power Play will bring you live reports and updates on the football matches. Listen to every Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM. Live reports will be brought to you by Chada Distributors Limited, KFC, and LS Duane and Company Limited.
Friday, letting you know that I'll outdoor sunny Isle, we're our star.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Gervin, I'm wondering, by minutes might soon be exhausted, but I'm wondering what does Bobby Montague mean when he said shield the Prime Minister from critics in a democracy?
I would imagine, like in any situation where there are colleagues or like-minded people who there will always be those who feel the need to protect and defend, as we say in Jamaica, people who they check for. And so that on the face of it appears to be what that is all about.
Okay, might be. And then Warmington talking about, look, I campaign local government authority conference, JP conference coming up. But saying Golden, like Golden was born in England. Golden parent came from England. Then they have roots in Jamaica, his father. So Golden definitely born in Jamaica. A black wife. Always the black man, a gallant man. See, I could win election with his bad reputation. More Golden clean, hard, clean mind ever. No such, not even Siaga like reputation. Have a blessed evening. And America Red Wave Sterling. Yeah, on the globe, preacher. Jesus will love you too. Bless Derby.
All right, thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. All right, let's clear a couple of messages. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. A lot of ground to cover. James in East London sending us the usual collection of stories from the United Kingdom. Let's see what we have here. IOPC investigating 9 armed police officers accused of racist and discriminatory conversations. That's one of the stories. Riot police were rushed to an immigration detention center after an alleged armed mob caused a disturbance during a power cut. The group of detainees were said to be armed with various weaponry. Gang steals 72 cars in 10 months, including from Heathrow Airport. The gangs are everywhere. Jamaica, Haiti, the United Kingdom. Oh dear. And mouth cancer causes grow as cases skyrocket in the UK. Oh no. A serving British Transport Police officer will appear at court charged in connection to 2 incidents of sexual grooming. Albanian criminals held in prisons in the UK are reportedly costing the taxpayer £57 million a year. There are 1,336 Albanians serving time in jails in England and Wales. Home Office spends £1 million handing cash to 300 illegal migrants. And government clear immigration detention center after power cut and night of violence. Fugitive wanted for attempted double killing in Canada is found. Teacher who left his wife for teenage pupil is struck off. And there are other stories. Thank you, James in East London, for sharing. Rudolph in Stony Hill says, a blessed day to you, sir. I have a problem with the coaster buses that run to Golden Spring. They're changing more bus fare than what or they're charging more bus fare than what the government says they are to charge. The taxis, the same, charging $150. People tend to blame the government when prices go up. When is the people them pricing their things? There is no more price control for the government to be blamed. So is $35 more buses and taxes put on the fare. The Transport Authority has to address this matter. Rudolph in Stony Hill, have you tried reaching Transport Authority to bring this to their attention? And perhaps the Member of Parliament as well, for her to lend her voice to this situation. This one says, good day, Durban. When are we going to have a decent garbage collection system in this country? It's very unsanitary as I see it. Why is public health, or why are public health inspectors not doing more to get the authorities to do better? Well, they're asking for more. They're asking for more pay and better treatment over the last few weeks, some weeks ago. That's what they're asking for. So if their morale is low and they're not getting what they want, then we can't expect much more, can we? Other than to insist that the authorities vested with the duty or duties to act, do act in the best interest of the country and the public health inspectors. And the rest of the message, there was a partial collection of our garbage after about a month yesterday. Now we will have to contend with the stench of the rotten barrage for another month. Why can't we get it right? Why is the agency responsible not functioning efficiently? I hear more trucks are coming, so we wait for an outbreak of disease till they get here, which could be another couple of years, the way this country is functioning. Thank you for your message. Not sure who that is. Precious in New Monkland says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. No signal from Power 106, going 2 weeks now. All the best, Precious from St. Thomas. We're forwarding your message immediately, Precious, to the transmission radio and television WhatsApp group and trust that they will act accordingly. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. The GIS is owned by the taxpayers and it's being used as a political football by both political parties. And this practice must stop immediately without fear or favor from no guy unapologetically. Well, our impression has been that the GIS has evolved and continues to evolve and is supposed to present information pertinent to the national interest. And that is what, from as far as we have seen, heard, and read, that's what the Jamaica Information Service has been doing. Now, naturally, the coverage will be skewed in favor of the government because the government is in office and the government virtually every single day has to tell the people, this is what we're doing, this is what is being done, this is the next project we're going to, etc., etc. So it is, on the face of it, the mouthpiece of the government, but it's supposed to be done in a tasteful, tactful, and professional manner. And we have no reason to doubt what has been happening in terms of the presentation of the material. As we said, you're not going to escape the fact that the news coming out of the Jamaica Information Service will appear to be skewed in favor of the governing Jamaica Labour Party. That's a function of the party being in office and therefore being the ones administering the affairs of the country. And so through the Jamaica Information Service, in time allowed for government broadcasts, they use the opportunity to say to the nation, this is what we have been doing, this is what we have done, this is what we are about to do, etc., etc., etc. So there's nothing strange about that, Cuban in Georgia. Thank you very much for your message. Joan in Bermuda has shared with us a couple of photos of the presentation of a check in the sum of $6,000 US to the Impact Mentoring Academy in Bermuda, one of the organizations that has benefited from the funds raised at the Jamaican Association Bermuda Gala, and we're happy and privileged to have been a part of those fundraising efforts in Bermuda. So the checks have been presented to both organizations. The one, which one is it here in Jamaica? It's I think it's Mustard Seed. One of those in Jamaica would have benefited, and a charity in Bermuda has also benefited. And so it is. Hello, Reverend Astley McDonald in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Good to see you popping up online. Hello to Blaine Stoddart, who is proud of the work of his organization, Young Caribbean Professional Network, delivering $42,000 US in cash scholarships to outstanding diverse students on financial aid at some of the renowned colleges and universities in the greater Philadelphia, New York City region. Wonderful. Happy to hear that. Happy to see the pictures as well. Blaine Stoddart, thanks for sharing, and all the very best. More in a moment.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
¿Qué hora es en espagnol? Son las 4. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4 heures. 现在 TDN le 4 DN. 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, both sides of the story. Paro 106 FM, Richie Innocent. We see the voice note or the recording that you have sent us. Haven't been able to listen to it yet. Good afternoon to you, Richie Innocent. Richie Nibar, hello to you too. Thank you very much for your continued listenership and support. And Reverend Dr. Frank Lawrence says, greetings and blessings for your wonderful program regarding the JPS malfunctioning streetlight in the village of Shawbury. I always make certain that the spelling is correct before sending out the message. This name and spelling has been further certified by the Post Office, Parish Council, SDC, and the many schoolmates, relatives, friends, and all the people from the Shawbury area that I am in touch with. See, I sent a copy of this award that I received on Saturday, the 5th of November 2022, after serving for many years as a JP in this area. Congratulations to you, Reverend Dr. Frank Lawrence. Well done. He goes on to say, God honor those who honor him. Share this picture and event with others. Thank you very much for sharing, Reverend Dr. Frank Lawrence. All the very best to you. Jem Marie Kim Messam, good afternoon to you too. Thank you very much for tuning in. And thanks again to Wayne C. Golding, Senior Esquire, CD, Commander of the Order of Distinction, and member of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, for doing duties and receiving that award for us in California. Thank you, Mr. Golding. Ren Mendez in Toronto, Canada says, Sir D, I missed the Land Solutions University. This messing around with the time of day is really a pain. Ren in Toronto, congrats on your award. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, the clocks went back by an hour last was it Saturday night or Sunday night? Saturday night. I think it was Sunday. Was it Sunday night into this morning? I think so. Daylight saving time. Yeah, I think so. I think it was Saturday night into Monday morning that the time changed by an hour. Clock pushed back by an hour. I just want to confirm that. Yes, it happened. It happened at 2 o'clock Sunday morning. 2 o'clock Sunday morning. The clocks were turned backward by an hour. And so we're back on the same time with the United States, Canada, and elsewhere. We're on the same time now. 4:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sandra German says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. What we're talking about in Pondside, Hanover, is that we cannot hear the station because it's not working for over a month now. All right, we're going to take a screenshot of your message, Sandra German. First of all, sorry to hear of the difficulties you're having hearing Power 106 FM. So we are taking a picture of your message. And we're going to forward it to the transmission group, television and radio, so that the engineers can give us an idea of what is happening or not happening. So let's see. Here we go, transmission, TV, radio. So that message is going out right now. So we just sent the message to the transmission, TV, radio, WhatsApp group. Please let us know if anything changes. Who was that? Who sent the message? Please let us know if anything changes. Thank you. That was Sandra German. Thank you for your message. Sorry you've been having difficulties hearing us. We trust our engineers will be able to fix that problem sooner than later. Keep those messages And those calls, the numbers to call, 876-922-412-5. 876-922-412-5. The text line, same as WhatsApp number. And this message from driver in America on WhatsApp. He says, "Greetings, Brother Durban. Regarding the JIS, has a new director been appointed?" That's a good question. I thought about it, but I wanted to check it first before raising it. But there was some talk or concern or worry, depending on who was thinking about it or impacted by it. Some people said it was sudden and so on and so forth. But that's a good question. That's a very good question. Let's see. Who is this now? There's a story here, driver, that says JIS. Oh no, that's way back. That's 2013. Let's see if we can come a little closer to now to see. All right, look at what we'll do now. We're gonna go to the JIS website and we're going to click on leadership. Nothing is happening there. Let's go to all right, so the question needs to be asked then, which is who is in charge of the JIS right now? Let me see. Because we're not able to bring, we're gonna have to look at this, see if we can find out. There's anybody from JIS listening. Can you confirm who is leading the Jamaica Information Service right now? Who is in charge? Which public servant is in charge of the Jamaica Information Service? Who is the CEO of the JIS? Because we have dated information here telling us it's Donna Marie Rowe. That's not the information we had some time ago, which had people talking. I don't think she's there anymore. I think that was it for her. After 13 years as the Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Information Service, the story was, after 13 years as the Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Information Service, JIS, Donna Marie Rowe is being sent home as part of what Jamaica Observer sources say is a shakeup of the government's communication agency. So that was that. So the question remains, who is in charge of the JIS right now? Jamaica Information Service, can you tell us? We just need to know. We need to be able to refer to somebody. Who is in charge of the JIS? That's the question. All right, we'll try and see if we can find anything else, but hold on. Let's see, what's this? All right. So there was the appointment of an acting CEO. Let's bring this up. This was March, no, not this one. Celia appoints. No. No, that's a different story. Sorry about that. So we need to know. We'll see what we can find out off air. And if you know, please share with us who is in charge of the Jamaica Information Service, the JIS. Good question, driver in America. Thanks for that reminder. And let's go now to Crocs in Black River. He says, greetings. Has the JIS been devalued to the place where it now operates as a tool to prop up discredited government ministers? Because at the time when Bobby Montague was facing calls for his resignation after several scandals, his voice was heard on every JIS broadcast, making some grand announcement. Now the same thing is happening with Christopher Tufton from Crocs in Black River. Well, that's essentially the point I was making, Crocs in Black River, that you're not going to escape the skewing of the presentation by virtue of the fact that the governing party is the Jamaica Labour Party. And therefore, the stories that come out of the Jamaica Information Service, the JIS, will reflect the work of the government. And so it is what it is, unless or until it is changed. That's what it is. But as we've said, we, under the leadership of Ms. Rowe, Donna Marie Rowe, we did detect a high level of professionalism and just pure facts in terms of what is happening, as opposed to any sugarcoating or just putting the information out there and doing so in a way that it can be easily received by the general public. So that was our impression while Donna Marie Rowe was the CEO of the JIS. As it regards what's happening now or not happening now, would love to. Who is the information minister is Robert Morgan, isn't it? I believe so. I think the de facto information minister, Robert Morgan. Maybe he can tell us. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
Both sides of the story.
The category. Show and Beef Festival, Thursday, November 10 at Minard Estate, Brownstown, St. Anne, right here on Power 106 FM.
My darling, I can hear Jamaica calling, calling, calling to me.
Que hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. 现在几点了？4点16分. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a day of learning today. Hope you also manage to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. And someone has sent us a message trying to get in touch with who is this now? Person says, this is Raphael. I'm trying to get in touch with Richie Nibar. Richie Nibar, if you're listening, Raphael is trying to get in touch with you. Richie Nibar, Raphael is trying to get in touch with you. All the best. Your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Sean has been trying desperately to reach us. Let's hear what he has to say. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Uncle. How are you doing, sir?
I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
I'm great so far. Can I tell you something, Uncle Durban? I remember one Friday when I listened to your program, as soon as Mr. Carlton become on here.
Hold on, Sean. Sean, control the children. Have a talk with them, and when you're ready, you can come back.
They are away, Uncle Durban. They are away. You're hearing me now?
Go ahead.
One Friday when I listened to your program, as soon as Mr. Carlton Lee become on here one Friday, I switch him off because you always say this to me. People are free to listen to what they want to listen to, and people are free to express themselves.
So it is.
Yes. Anyways, Uncle Durban, let's move on. My subject this afternoon that I have on my mind is cyberbullying. But seriously, Uncle Durban, people need to stop bullying people online. They are so annoying. I have a question to ask. Why the world of social media is so dangerous? Why do you have to spread rumors and lies and fake news online?
Because they're seeking attention.
Yes, because they're seeking attention. And the statistics shows that over 95% of people have been cyberbullied online.
Where did you get that information from? Where did you get that information?
I read it online.
On which website?
Chrome.
Chrome is a browser. Google Chrome is a browser. You have seen a story from which source though?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you have to try and make a note of the sources so that we don't so that we get an idea of where the information is coming from.
Yes, I have one more thing to tell you before I go. I remember one night when I was watching primetime news on television in Jamaica, they were reading a story about studies have shown in 2019, 39% of students has been bullied online. Teens. Boy, you know what we need to do, Uncle Durban? We need to take action against the bullies. They are so annoying. They need to report them to the authorities and the relevant agencies.
No doubt a lot of that has happened already, and more of that will happen.
Yes, it will happen all the time. It's not today or yesterday people has been bullied. People has been bullied for decades, for years. And speaking of bullying, especially when the high school students go to school, that I tell you why violence happens in high schools all the time, because of the bullies. They are the problem.
That's a general statement you're making. You would need to be able to prove that.
Yes. I never been bullied before when I was a little boy. That never happened to me before. I'm very happy. Uncle Durban, that's why I hate using social media. I don't use Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and those things. I don't like those things.
All right, take care. Go take care of the children, please.
Yes, I will talk to you another time.
Yes.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Another bit of information to share with you here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And here's the very latest from the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida. A dangerous storm surge from Nicole is possible across much of the east coast of Florida and portions of coastal Georgia, where a storm surge watch is in effect. The storm surge will be accompanied by large and damaging waves. And for more information, you can go to hurricanes.gov for updates. Hurricanes.gov for updates. Here's Crocs in Black River once again, messaging us on WhatsApp. He says, Durvan, why should a party come to the conclusion that they have to shield their leader from criticism? Well, it's what they do. Don't you see them doing it in Parliament all the time? And the House Speaker, at one point or another, has done that too. The idea is, if it's not going to be something rosy or something pleasant, they don't want it to get out. And it's something we've always said on this program. It's the way of politics. And we said it earlier too. When it's something good, if it's something good, we are going to play it up. We're going to make a lot of excitement about it, and we're going to have press conferences and photo opportunities because it's something good. When it's something bad, we don't necessarily come forward to say, hold on there, I take responsibility for this, or we take responsibility for that, etc. Invariably, it starts with a leak. Information is leaked, and then, as they say in Jamaican parlance, story come to bump. So it isn't strange for the members of a political party to seek to, as it is put, shield, whether it be the leader or a minister or an MP. It is not uncommon. It's what they do. You're a member of the same party, you're members of the same party, and you want to put the best of your party forward, and you're going to do what it takes to put the best of your party forward. So, yeah, there's nothing strange there. It could be said as well of we've had other political leaders in Jamaica, other prime ministers, who have had their moments when their supporters and colleagues would rather them not speaking or too much information getting out about this, that, or the other. Because everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to be in the good limelight, not the bad limelight. Anyway, the rest of Crocs' message. Does it mean that they know that he has questions surrounding him personally? And also that should he should he be taken down, the party would be totally unattractive without him? Well, that remains to be seen. And note that they did not specify unfair or destructive criticism, but criticism in general. Well, there's a quotation we have been using or sharing on this program for quite a number of years. It says, fear of criticism is the kiss of death in the courtship of achievement. Of criticism is the kiss of death in the courtship of achievement. Criticism. There's no reason to fear criticism. We should be fully prepared to stand up and tell it like it is and deliver the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That should be normal and natural. It should be. But this business of fearing criticism is something we have talked about over the years. When Barack Obama was president of the US, and he used to take on Fox News, and we're saying to Barack Obama, please, wasting your time. When Portia Simpson Miller was prime minister, she had her fair share of criticisms, and she would say, and they criticize and criticize, and so, and we said it at that time as well. Fear of criticism is the kiss of death in the courtship of achievement. If you are honest, if you are an individual of integrity, if you are truthful, if you are factual, go ahead and respond to the questions that are being asked. In this democracy, we will always be asking questions. And the solution is not to hide from the press or shield anybody from the media. Otherwise, you're creating another narrative or another series of narratives. Just tell it like it is. What are the facts? And you know those famous questions. What did you know? When did you know it? And what did you do about it? Very important in the field of governance. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. The Agro Investment Corporation, an agency under the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, is proud to be a supporter of this year's 24th staging of the Minute Livestock Show and Beef Festival. The corporation will continue to play a significant role in the growth of agriculture by providing the local cattle industry with premium breeding stock of Jamaica Black, Red Pole, and Brahman from the Minute Estates Farm to ensure that Jamaica's livestock production is safer, cleaner, and better. Agro Invest, facilitating agribusiness investments.
Tune in every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. for Your Legal Corner with Daily Walker Huntington during both sides of the story with Durban Malcolm on Power 106 FM. It's your source of information regarding U.S. immigration matters, combined with Power 106 FM's pioneer of diaspora broadcasting. Call in with your U.S. immigration queries and concerns on 876-9224-11225 or send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598 and get the answers you need for your U.S. immigration questions. That's Your Legal Corner with Daily Walker Huntington, Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with Durban Malcolm, only on Power 106 FM.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesdays at 8 with Powering Your Health. Join us this Wednesday, November 9 in Healthy Conversations with Dr. Jackie. We'll discuss testing for diabetes and the link between mental health, chronic illness, and much more. You're invited to call in with your health questions and concerns. 876-922-4112 to 5. Brought to you by Wellington Dental and Compassionate Care Medical Center. That's powering your health. This Wednesday, November 9 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
It's the moon and I confiding.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5:28. 现在几点了？5点28分。28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Driver in America says, also, Brother Durvan, please see if RADA still only has an acting CEO. Not sure. Somebody was on secondment. Let's see. Right. Agricultural engineer Winston Simpson has been appointed to act as Chief Executive Officer of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA. This was published on the 12th of August, 2022. Yes, I think I've had the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Simpson as well some time ago. So that position is occupied, driver in America. Thank you for your message. Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Monday to you and your listeners. With the midterm elections in the U.S. tomorrow, many of the key states are on edge. So it is possible for the Republican to control the House. That will make it difficult for President Biden to pass laws. If they do control the House, I'm wondering what effect it will have on the U.S. support for Ukraine's, the U.S. support for Ukraine, I think you mean. Remember, the people of Ukraine don't like when you refer to their country as the Ukraine. So it's Ukraine, simply Ukraine, as opposed to the Ukraine or the Ukraine. Ukraine. This one says, oh, this is Raphael leaving his contact information with the hope that, I tell you what, we'll just forward the message on WhatsApp to Richie Nibar in Massachusetts. How about that? Let's do that. Let's do just that. Richie Nibar. So Raphael, we just forwarded Raphael's contact information. He wants to get in touch with you. All the best. Good afternoon, Cherry Henry. We see you. Good to see you online. Welcome. Joan in Bermuda says, congrats on your latest very well-deserved award, Sir D. You're very kind. Thank you very much. We humbly accept, Joan Richardson. Thank you very much. And you do likewise, as you say here. Keep up the good work. You do likewise. And all the best to your husband, Willard, your daughter, Roxy, and your granddaughter, Amira, and the entire Jamaica, Bermuda, Jamaica family. You get it. You get the picture. Wonderful. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Go jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp. That number is 876-33346. 876-365-346. Let's share with you some nuggets of history now. How about that? Let's go back to 1776, the year the Kingston Public Hospital was established. 1776. So the Kingston Public Hospital, as we like to share on this program, is as old as the United States of America. So on this day in 1776, Congress, the U.S. Congress, chose Richard Bach to succeed his father-in-law, Benjamin Franklin, as Postmaster General. Franklin had sailed for France on behalf of the Continental Congress the previous month. Benjamin Franklin invested nearly 40 years in the establishment of a reliable system of private communications in the American colonies. He was appointed Postmaster of Philadelphia in 1737, and then as Joint Postmaster General of the colonies, a position he held from 1753 to 1774. Born on this day in 1867, Marie Curie, French chemist who researched radioactivity and discovered radium. 1909, the gauges at Farm Hill in St. Thomas and Silver Hill in St. Andrew measured 28.50 and 27 inches of rainfall on this day in 1909. During the past 3 days, the previous 3 days, the gauge at Silver Hill recorded 78.50 inches of rainfall. And let's share another bit with you. W.H. Coke, chairman of the Manchester Parochial Board and a descendant of Reverend T.H. Clark, who served as pastor of the Four Paths Congregational Church in Clarendon from 1850 to 1870, laid the main foundation stone for a new church. This would replace the wooden structure, which was shipped from England, complete and ready for erection, and was opened on December 14, 1834. Hello to the parishioners of the Four Paths Congregational Church in Clarendon. St. William Grant, who had been dismissed as an officer of the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union by its leader, Alexander Bustamante, called for the name of the union to be altered to remove the implication of personal ownership. He also disagreed with the provision which made Bustamante president for life, as if a president does his work well, he will retain the love and respect of members and be thereby assured of re-election. Well, that's something we've always said. Quite frankly, if you've been doing your work, if you have been serving the people, then one would expect the people to respond in kind. So if you are serving the people, if you are working for the people will know. By their stripes you shall know them. By his deeds shall a man be known. So I always wonder, why do you necessarily have to put it this way? You shouldn't have to campaign if you are already performing. Your work should speak for itself. You might very well think that you need some amount of publicity to say, this is what we've done, this is what we've done. That is what we have done. as well, etc., etc. Fine. But you shouldn't, especially if you're an incumbent, you should be able to run on the basis of your performance. Your performance should be good enough for the people to go back to the polls or to go to the polls and say, yes, I am in support of this individual or that individual or this party or that party. But it should be much easier for us to know who is performing and who is not, who is working and who is not, who is profiling and who is not. And so it's that time again. We're told we're likely to have a local government election, which has been postponed, I believe, at least a couple of times, that it should be possibly within the next 3 months or so. That's speculation. And words being dropped here and there. But if you have been performing, you don't need to run multi-million-dollar ads all over the place, because you know, and the people know, this is not something now that would be fake or flawed or false. If you are in the community, if you are in the constituency, if you are in the division, the people know, the people would be feeling you on the ground. And they would be seeing your handiwork all around. So that's good enough for campaigning. That should be good enough. The work is evident. But if you feel it's like our homes should generally be in order. So it shouldn't be that because so-and-so is coming from foreign or wherever else that we're going to hurry up and fix up the place. Just like when Barack Obama was scheduled to arrive in Jamaica, and we were paving roads like crazy and prettying up the place, so to speak. Now, nothing is fundamentally wrong with improving or enhancing the aesthetics of your place. Nothing is wrong with that. But it should really be routine. It should be routine. And if it's routine, then it shouldn't cost a lot of money just for general upkeep and maintenance. We don't do so well in maintenance here in Jamaica. So we will see with the upcoming local government elections which councillor has been performing or has not been performing. And those who perform, no doubt, will be rewarded. And those who haven't been doing a thing, well, good luck.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. The Issa Manning Cup Schoolboy Football Competition is in full swing, and Power Play will bring you live reports and updates on the football matches. Listen to every Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM. Live reports will be brought to you by Chada Distributors Limited, KFC, and Alice Duane and Company Limited.
I can hear Jamaica calling, calling, calling to me.
Que hora es en español? Son las 5:15. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:15. 现在几点了？5点下15分。15 minutes. Make that now 14 minutes. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story. here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Well, someone is saying hi. Hi, Dervan. How are you? I'm fine, thanks. I'm sorry, I don't recognize the face. But hi to you. And thank you very much for tuning in to both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Hello to Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida. Good afternoon to you. Velta Wilson in St. Thomas. Good afternoon. And she says, congratulations on your recent award. Well deserved. Thank you very much, Velta Wilson. And thanks to the members of the Jamaica Awareness Association of California for the award. We're humbled and honored by this most auspicious gesture. And another message. Our driver in America is still typing away, about to send us a follow-up message to the previous question that was asked. All right, we'll see. Okay, here we go. So he says, I have been observing the situations with RADA and JIS, having had strong CEOs removed and the respective cabinet ministers taking over the leadership. Yeah, well, this is what conscientious citizens are supposed to do. Driver in America, we're supposed to hold the feet of our public servants and those in elected office to the fire. There is one of my all-time quotations, all-time favorite quotations. What's the gentleman's name? Murray Gurfin, I believe. It was Murray Gurfin, the jurist, I believe, off the top of my head. I'm trying to bring it up as we go along. And the quotation that I really love when it comes to media, journalism, broadcasting, the quotation comes from Murray Gurfin. Murray, M-U-R-R-A-Y, Gurfin, G-U-R-F-E-I-N, G-U-R-F-E-I-N. He says, a cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the even greater values of freedom of expression and the right of the people to know. Oh, those are very pointed words. Very pointed words. And let's just go over those words again. What time is it? Yeah, let's go over those words again. A cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the right of the people to know. Very important. It's about the people. It is about the people. The people who we serve. It's about the people. So a cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press, must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the right of the people to know. We commend to the candidates in the upcoming local government elections this quotation from Murray Irwin Gerfin. Over to you. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Driver in America says acting CEOs cannot engage in long-term planning for their agencies. That is so true, because it's a stopgap situation, isn't it? And long-term planning is critical. Forecasting is essential, and if we're going to properly position the organization, we have to be on top of things in that regard. So you're spot on, Driver in America. Thank you very much for your message. Neville, otherwise known as Salah, says, Durvan, the PNP calling for the resignation of Tufton. Durvan, knowing the JLP, it'll never happen. The JLP, they actually destroyed Ferguson, as in Dr. Fenton Ferguson, for the, is it 19? You have 19 here. I thought it was 18. 18 dead babies. Tufton, under his leadership, 2016, babies died. I'm seeing a ridiculous figure here, Neville Solomon. I'd love to see the source of that data. I'd love to see that. Please share, Salah. I'm sorry. I've heard it quoted before, but it just seems like a ridiculous number. And I can't imagine what was there. Why wasn't there, if this is the actual figure, why wasn't there an outcry as there is now back in 2016? I don't remember. Was there an outcry in 2016? Help in that regard. We'll just go through the archives. We'll have to go and check the archives. We can't do that right now. But thank you for your message, Neville Salah Solomon, who is still typing away, which means he has more to say. Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida says, we're here awaiting the arrival of the storm later in the week, heading directly for the lower east coast of Florida. Well, may you all be safe and stay safe, Albert, and all the other Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica along the lower east coast of Florida. We have just a few minutes to go, a couple of minutes or so. And just a couple more messages, perhaps. 876-365-3346 is our text line, same as the WhatsApp number. And the call-in lines, once again, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. This one says, oh, I think we read that already. But keep the messages coming in nonetheless. Those we can't read today, all things being well, we'll read them tomorrow. In the meantime, hold on, one more. Neville Salah Solomon says the PNP did not cry because the PNP had just lost the election. Salah. But here's the thing now, Salah. the party has a duty to serve the people. It's Her Majesty's loyal opposition. And Her Majesty's loyal opposition knows that you win some and you lose some. There's no guarantee that you're going to win every single election that you contest. So when you lose an election, and in that period of time, we lose babies, that is a serious thing, and would have been, I mean, it's like putting the cause on pause. Isn't it the cause? Isn't the cause for the people and of the people and by the people and for the people? So how are you going to abandon the people now while you dry your tears of losing the election? No, you're going to get to work right away, because that's what it's about. Service to the people. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 7th of November, 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
There's a song in the sea, it's the moon and I confiding, letting you know that I've come to a sunny isle, where a star is shining. When the moon comes a-riding, I can hear you then, my darling. I can hear Jamaica calling, calling through you and me.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106.